In presenting our first number to our patrons, we feel all the difference of persons entering upon a new and untried line of business, but a moment's reflection upon the noble objects which we have in view by the publication of this journal. The expediency of its appearance at this time, when so many schemes are in action concerning our people, encourage us to come boldly before an enlightened public. For we believe that a paper devoted to the dissemination of useful knowledge among our brethren and to their moral and religious improvement must meet with the cordial approbation of every friend to humanity. The peculiarities of this journal render it important that we should advertise to the world the motives by which we are actuated, and the object for which we contemplate. We wish to plead our own cause. Too long have others spoken for us. Too long has the public been deceived by misrepresentations in things which concern us dearly, though in the estimation of some, mere trifles. For though there are many in society who exercise towards us benevolent feelings, still, with sorrow, we confess it, there are others who make it their business to enlarge upon the least trifle, which tends to discredit of any person of color, and pronounce antithesis and denounce our whole body for the misconduct of this guilty one. We are aware that there are many instances of vice among us, but we avow that this is because no one has taught us its subjects to be virtuous. Many instances of poverty because no sufficient effort accommodated the minds contracted by slavery, and deprived of early education, we have been made to teach them how to husband their hard earnings and to secure themselves comfort. Education being an object of the highest importance to the welfare of society, we shall endeavor to present just and adequate views of it, and to urge upon our brethren the necessity and expediency of training their children, while young, to habits of industry, and thus forming them for becoming useful members of society. It is surely time that we should awake from this lethargy of years and make a concentrated effort for the education of our youth. We form a spoke in the human wheel, and it is necessary that we should understand our pendants on the different parts and theirs on us, in order to perform our part with propriety. Though not desirous of dictating, we shall feel it in our incumbent duty to dwell occasionally upon the general principles and rules of economy. The world has grown too enlightened to estimate any man's character by his personal appearance. Though all men acknowledge the excellency of Franklin's maxim, yet comparatively few practice upon them. We may deplore when it is too late the neglect of these self-evident truths, but it avails little to mourn. Ours will be the task of admonishing our brethren on those points. The civil rights of a people being of the greatest value, it shall ever be our duty to vindicate our brethren when oppressed and to lay the case before the public. We shall also urge upon our brethren who are qualified by the laws of the different states the expediency of using their elective franchise and of making an independent use of the same. We wish them not to become tools of the party. Inasmuch time is frequently lost and wrong principles instilled by the perusal of works of trivial importance, we shall consider it a part of our duty to recommend to our young readers such authors as will not only enlarge their stock of useful knowledge, but such as will also serve to stimulate them to higher attainments in science. We trust also that through the columns of this Freedom's Journal, many practical pieces having for their basis the improvement of our brethren will be presented to them from the pens of many of our respected friends who have kindly promised their assistance. It is our earnest wish to make our journal a medium of intercourse between our brethren in the different states of this great confederacy, that through its columns, as expressions of our sentiments on many interesting subjects which concern us, may be offered to the public, that plans which apparently are beneficial may be candidly discussed and properly weighed. If worthy, receive our cordial approbation; if not, our marked approbation. Useful knowledge of every kind and everything that relates to Africa shall find a ready admission into our columns. And as that vast continent becomes daily more known, we trust that many things will come to light, proving that the natives of it are neither so ignorant nor stupid as they have generally been supposed to be. And while these important subjects shall occupy the columns of the Freedom's Journal, we would not be unmindful of our brethren who are still in the iron fetters of bondage. They are our kindred by all the ties of nature, and though but little can be affected by us, still let our sympathies be poured forth, and our prayers on their behalf ascend to him who is still able to succor them. From the press and the pulpit, we have suffered much by being incorrectly represented. Men whom we equally love and admire have not hesitated to represent us disadvantageously, without becoming personally acquainted with the true state of things, nor discerning between virtue and vice among us. The virtuous part of our people feel themselves sorely aggrieved under the existing state of things. They are not appreciated. Our vices and our degradation are ever arrayed against us, but our virtues are passed by unnoticed. And what is still more lamentable, our friends, to whom we concede all the principles of humanity and religion, from these very causes seem to have fallen into the current of popular feeling and are imperceptibly floating on the stream, actually living in the practice of prejudice while they abjure it in the theory and feel it not in their hearts. Is it not very desirable that such should know more of our actual condition and of our efforts and feelings, that in forming or advocating plans for our amelioration, that they may do it with more understanding? In the spirit of candor and humility, we intend by a simple representation of facts to lay our case before the public, with a view to arrest the progress of prejudice and to shield ourselves against the consequent evils. We wish to conciliate all and to irritate none, yet we must be firm and unwavering in our principles and persevering in our efforts. If ignorance, poverty, and degradation have hitherto been our unhappy lot, has the eternal decree gone forth that our race alone are to remain in this state, while knowledge and civilization are shedding their enlightening rays over the rest of the human family? The recent travels of Dunham and Clapperton in the interior Africa and the interesting narrative which they have published, the establishment of the Republic of Haiti after years of sanguinary warfare, its subsequent progress in all the arts of civilization, and the advancements of liberal ideas in South America, where despotism has given place to free governments, and where many of our brethren now fill important civil and military stations, prove the contrary. The interesting fact that there are 500,000 free persons of color, one half of whom might per use, and the whole be benefited by the publication of the journal, that no publication as yet has been devoted exclusively to their improvement, that many selections from approved standard authors, which are within the reach of a few, may occasionally be made, and more important still, that this large body of our citizens have no public channel, all serve to prove the real necessity at present for the appearance of the Freedom's Journal. It shall ever be our desire so to conduct the editorial department of our paper as to give offense to none of our patrons, as nothing is further from us than to make it the advocate of any partial views either in the politics or religion. What few days we can number have been devoted to the improvement of our brethren, and it is our earnest wish that the remainder may be spent in the same delightful service. In conclusion, whatever concerns us as a people will ever find a ready admission into the Freedom's Journal, interwoven with all the principal news of the day. And while everything in our power shall be performed to support the character of our journal, we would respectfully invite our numerous friends to assist by their communications, and our colored brethren to strengthen our hands by their subscriptions, as our labor is one of common cause and worthy of their consideration and support. And we do most earnestly solicit the latter, that if at any time we should seem to be zealous or too pointed in our inculcation of any important lesson, they will remember that they are equally interested in the cause in which we are engaged, and attribute our zeal to the peculiarities of our situation and our earnest engagedness in the well-being. The editors.